Hey everybody, Wages World here. I'm going to give you a daily update here. What's going on? We've got some crazy aurora that we talked about already, but it was seen worldwide. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, dive deep into it, at least a little bit. Now, we also got a couple more eruptions that's happened, and some of these eruptions on the sun are coming at us. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to mean, but hang around, we'll look at it. And yeah, we got some big, massive sunspots also. So yeah, hang around and we'll get to it, guys. All right, guys. So I guess what I'm going to do tonight is most likely just kind of jump into it. Somebody give me a 5 for 5 if you could. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just keep on moving while I'm waiting for the 5 for 5 so we're not got any dead space here. And it is good to see everybody. Hey, good to see you, Keto Mama. Good to see you. Let's see if that pops up out there. Did that pop up? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Hey, Arizona. Good to see you, girl. Okay, we're good. All right. So, I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of a rundown real quick. And then we'll dive a little deeper after I get you guys acclimated on what we're going to be doing here. Guys, we had a flare back here. Oh, gosh, it's about a little longer than 24 hours ago. It was significant. I showed it to you guys yesterday. It was significant, but it was kind of on the backside. And that did show an eruption, but it is going away from us, and it's not going to do anything to us. But also, guys, I want to show you guys this. This is another eruption. This is from today. Actually, this one could be impacting us. And you can kind of see the other eruptions that's been happening too here. And we're going to watch a full day loop here in just a minute. But I wanted to show you guys that. And also this. Check this out. Look at this sun. This is the most recent image of the sun that we can get from SDO. And as you can tell, guys, look, check out the sunspots. These things are big. These two right here, I think they're kind of communicating with each other too. We call that sympathetic sunspots. When that happens, we do see an uptick in activity. And they typically flare and have CMEs and all kinds of things at the same time, or very close to the same time. Now, as you're looking up here, what we got here, littler sunspots, but it's no less important to point these out because, guys, check it out, Earth scale. You can still fit Earth in that thing. And number one, the size of it isn't really the only thing we need to be paying attention to. Okay. Yes, I know we can go with all kinds of innuendos there. We're not going down that road. But what I'm saying is that there's a lot of power in these little ones sometimes. And it matters what kind of complexity they got. Positive, negative, all those kinds of things piled on top of each other. So, yeah. Now, check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's at least 5 Earths vertical. And so this is significant size. This is one of the bigger ones we've had this year. Now, are we going to see more of those? Yes, we probably will. They're just constant right now, guys. We are, if people are wondering if we're in Solar Max, I would say yes. I don't know if it's been official yet, but I would say yes. We're in Solar Max. We're probably going to be there for the next 2 or 3 years. So we're going to have to pay attention, and that's why we talk about what we talk about. But the Aurora, right? Okay? Dr. Tony Phillips is knocking it out of the ballpark again. So I'm going to explain this because I actually had a comment, and we kind of talked in the comment section about what's going on here. And I even reiterated this a little bit yesterday on what I was talking about. So, but before I show you guys this, check out that picture right there. I'm not going to stay on this picture very long because I want you guys to go look at this for yourself over here at spaceweather.com. As a matter of fact, we're going to copy it. We're going to put it in the chat right here. And let's go ahead and paste that. Look at the east side of the sun. Okay, we will. Here, Are you talking to the left or to the right? I need to ask that question because when you're looking at the sun, east-west is reverse. So left side or right side. You got to pretend you're on the sun, and you may be saying it exactly how it needs to be. But yeah. So please, guys, come over here and show Dr. Tony Phillips some love. We also got this lunar occultation of Saturn. Basically, the sun is going, not the sun, but the moon is going to be passing right in front of where, from our perspective, where Saturn is. So it's going to basically to the right. Okay. Remember, Dr. J Man, that's actually reversed. Okay. So when you're talking about the sun, you got to say, hey, the east is actually to the left. And I know it's confusing. It can be. But that's just how we got to make sure that we try to do it like that. And I'm sure, I'm sure you've heard me say that before. But just so you know, that's all it is. But okay, I'll check out the right side here in a minute. But anyway, let's go back here. Now, guys, this is Aurora. This is just a generic photo I got off the internet, right? And I'm going to come back to that in just a second. But I want you guys to check this out, okay? So this is one of the latest eruptions, and we're looking from this perspective. It's our perspective. There's the satellite, 1,000,000 miles closer to the sun. So let's look at the whole day of eruptions here on the 20th. And you're going to see a boom, 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 boom. Okay, and we can go back and look at, that's the one that's probably got the best chance of coming our way as far as a glancing blow from a larger eruption, I would say. Now, we can go back to the previous day, and you're going to see some similar stuff here. And I showed you guys that one yesterday and that one, and they were both on the backside. Okay? So when I say the sun's erupting on all sides, I literally mean it's erupting on all sides. That's not a this, that, or the third, right? So that's what's happening. This is an actual occulter disk. It's there to block the main light of the sun. Without that, we don't get any imaging. We get overexposure. So when we see energy poking around that, we know it's either coming right at us or going off the back. We call that a halo eruption when that happens. And what we're seeing here are partial halos. And that's why I explained that fairly quickly there. So that eruption, is it going to hit? Guys, I'm not sure about these, but I will say this. Let me show you. I'm going to take you guys to SDO, and you're going to see some eruptions here. This is the one that's in geosynchronistic orbit. It's from our point of view, and what we're looking at is extreme ultraviolet filter. Okay, it's the 131 angstrom of light. It's a wavelength of light. And so they're able to pick out a specific gas. So that's what we're looking at here. I'm not sure exactly what gas this is, but we're able to look at different gases by showing different angstroms of light. Every other light is gone off of this. The only one that you're seeing is the 131. If it ain't in the 131 spectrum, you're not seeing that. It's not there in this picture. Doesn't mean that there ain't something there. It just means that this is the visual that we're getting. And it helps us understand what's going on better. But even right there on the end, did you see that eruption? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of pause this. And we're going to run it through kind of slow like. Well, more controlled like, I should say. So, did you see that flash right there, right back there? That, okay? Where'd that come from? Right there. Okay? That was at close to the turn of the day on the 19th into the 20th. So what is that? Well, we can come back here and look. See that? That's how we match things up, guys. That is that flare. So with that being said, now we got to look to see if it produced a CME. And we'll get to that in just a second. Hey, Ron, thank you. Thank you for that, brother. Appreciate you. 100% appreciate you. Guys, tell him thanks for that, if you would, please. I'll give him a proper thanks here in just a minute. But yeah. So, that flare happened. And did it produce a CME? That's the next thing we got to look at, right? So, we're concentrating right here just for this one flare. Now, I'm going to run this through just so you guys can see the other eruptions real quick. Now, there was a small flare there. And remember, you don't have to have a flare to have a CME. You don't have to have a flare to have a significant CME. Okay? Now, did you see that blowing off to the right? Right there? Watch what happens down here on the backside. Okay, that's pretty fast. That was a fast eruption. Now, a lot of you guys probably just caught what I was wanting to really show you right now. Watch right here. See that? Now, I don't know if that actually made it off the sun. Okay, so if we come over here to Helio Viewer, where I just showed you the sunspots, is there a sunspot there? Nope. And why I point that out is the fact that I guess it could be one of those right there. Maybe. I guess it could be the start there, but there's nothing significantly here to say, hey, there's a sunspot right there. Right? And just to double check, we'll hit the newest image here, and this is the newest imaging. So that's what we, whatever time frame that we're looking at over here on SDO, that's at 1800 on the 20th. And where are we at right now? We're only like 4 hours ahead of that. So, yeah, this right here is most likely a CME without a sunspot. Okay? Now, again, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a different angstrom. So hang in there with me, guys. I want you to hang in here just for 1 second. I'm not going to, dwell on all this right now. I want to keep it moving, to keep it kind of fluid here so we can kind of stay focused. But what we're going to look, this is the 304, different spectrum of light. Hey, Callie, thank you so much for the super sticker. Whoop, whoop. Love it, love it. I'll give you a proper thanks here in just a few minutes. Thank you, Callie. Appreciate you. Okay, so right in here on the end is when you're going to see it. Okay, what are we looking for? We're looking for a dark shadow, right? And if it looks like it erupted hard enough, like that right there, see, and I'm not even going to be able to give you a good answer there. The reason why, the sun's camouflaging it. It's hard to tell. So, yeah, there's not going to be a good, solid answer here right now. And that's good because we have time, guys. We can be a little patient here. You see that right there? Now, if you guys watch what actually was happening here, and you might not see it like I see it, okay? There's a filament right here slowly moving this direction. When magnetics get close to each other, what happens? Reconnection events, they'll touch each other, whatever, and then you get those blasts like that. Okay? So, boom. Now, we're just going to have to wait. Well, what I'm waiting on is the coronagraphs to update. Okay, what's the coronagraph? It's the imaging I showed you guys here. Nope, sorry. Here. Okay, this is the coronagraph. This is a difference image. They do show different anomalies. You get camera artifacts and stuff on this one that you won't get over here. And that makes it a little bit, you got to pay attention to what you're looking at. But we get a very good look at the CMEs over here on the difference image because you have that contrast of white and black, right? The light colors to the dark colors. Notice how it kind of looks washed out over here on the red view. Now, it's the same imaging, right? It's just different technology being used right there to show it visually. So with that being said, what we're waiting on is for these coronagraphs to update a little bit, and we'll wait on the official forecast. We can also start checking out the CME trackers. Okay, this is NOAA's version of those, right? They are showing a little hit right here. Now, this image was created earlier today. So that eruption I just showed you guys would not be on here. Okay? Because it hadn't happened yet. So there's no sense in even looking at that right now. And that's why I pointed out. Now, but we do have another CME tracker, the NASA CME tracker. The one I just showed you there was NOAA's. Let me go down here. it's the same model, but they take into consideration different data points at a higher level that influence the model to do one thing or the other, right? So it's kind of like a hurricane model, the spaghetti strings. They all have their own different opinions, right? They don't always match up. They don't match up ever until right when they're getting ready to hit, right? So, and this is kind of the same thing we're seeing with these kinds of forecasting models with CMEs. It's very similar. So NASA has the same type of model. It is the same model, but they enter different values, right? Or they take those values and they mean more, like say speed might account for more of a position over here on the NASA model that it doesn't account for as much on the NOAA. I don't know what the exact parameters that they use individually there, but they are different, and but it's still the same model. So what I'm saying, I tell you all that not just for word salad or to sound like whatever. What I'm trying to tell you guys here is when they match up, if they match up, that's when you're like, hey, we better pay attention because this thing is coming right at us. Okay? If both are saying it's going to hit, most likely we get the hit. And, sometimes they just differ a little bit. I've seen the NASA model show a CME blowing off the backside. Okay? Because it was one of those halo things I was telling you about, right? Over here. I've seen the NASA one blow one right off the back, and then the NOAA model show it blowing straight at us off the front. That's happened before. So we got to pay attention. Now, before it got here, the model started to agree more with them, right? I can't remember which one was correct, which one wasn't. But one of them ended up changing. I think the NASA model was wrong. I think NOAA had it right that time. But if I remember correctly, it doesn't matter. But so yeah. Now, when we're looking at all these things, that one there, guys, is the one that I just showed you guys. If you look at the date when the model starts to run here, it's on the 19th and into the 20th. So that is that most likely right there, guys, is probably this flare. No, not this one. I'm sorry, I misspoke. It is the one that was on the other side that I showed you guys. I showed it to you guys yesterday. It was over here, if you remember right. Let's see if I can't find it. It may not show on the 304 here very well either. It's not going to. It's back a little further, but I showed it to you guys yesterday. So if you want to see that one, go back and check that on my last video. But it's there. Now, so what's that all mean? Well, it means we could be having a CME coming at us. It could mean that a whole lot of other things are happening all at the same time. So we're just kind of waiting. Now, we can look at data, right? And I could bore you guys to death with this thing. The BZ, we look for -6, right? That's what we always look for. Now, let me change this to 1 day, okay? I'm doing that for a reason, because I've seen some data anomalies in here that might not be so evident now. Okay, they're not. Okay, good. On the 3 day, I was seeing like these impulsive spikes up and down. Like right here, you see this? It's like 1 or 2 data points, the speed shot straight up to like, it doubled. Well, it would go from like 350 to over 500. I think that's a false data reading. Okay? I really do. Especially with the density here going from like 0, and then you get over here and it's like, oh, I don't know, what's it get up to here? It went pretty close there. I mean, it went high, is what I'm trying to say. And so, and we do get kind of funky data readings sometimes for a whole lot of reasons. But just remember the BZ needs to show purple on this graph, -6. Basically, it is the direction of which our magnetic field is kind of pointing. And when it's -6, it's more to the south, and it allows the space weather to come in easier. Now, vice versa, when it goes positive, this red line, if it goes past 0 and it starts to go positive, we'll start deflecting things easier. Okay? All right. So, with all that being said, what kind of space weather do we have coming right now? This is the Australian Magnetosphere model. I love this model for its simplicity, and it gives us all the data we need. I'm serious, guys. Just to get a basic understanding. This is our bow shock. The sun's off to the left. The bow shock is the first point of contact of space weather to our magnetic field, right? So that's what's happening there. It's getting rung like a tuning fork. So when we take the bigger hits, it'll kind of get inside this satellite line sometimes, and it can destroy satellites. They'll shut off on their own for safety mode quite often when we get big storms. Okay, but this is our main satellite line. That's why they're showing it, and they tell you what satellite it is over here. I just think it's an awesome thing, really do, because it shows you the BZ. It shows you even the standoff distance, which is how far a bow shock is out, right? Now, that's going from the center of the Earth, okay? Not from the horizon. It's the center, okay? Most things are measured that way when we're talking about space. Density's even here. Solar wind is there. Everything is here. If you wanted to just look at it, right? It's very easy to understand. I mean, I could probably show this to my 10-year-old nephew, and he would understand this. And I'm not just saying that. You know, it's just not that hard to understand. It's right there. It's very simple, and that's why I love it. But I also love this one because it does give us, this is the same type of model showing us the same kinds of events, but the visual is different because of the model. And it does allow us to see more in a three-dimensional way, and it does give your mind a, I guess, a better idea, maybe, or understanding of what, you know, in real life, if you were standing outside, what it would look like, right? I did see something today on this model, and I was going to point it out, and I forgot to record it. But we get what we call reconnections. We'll get a hit in the front, right? And then, because the blues and the reds are basically the same speeds, they're just moving in opposite directions. You see the negative 600 and 600? So the 600 is moving from right to left, okay? And then the negative 600 is moving left to right. So when we get hit, it'll break some of those magnetic lines, and the stuff will get through. But then what happens is it reconnects, and it'll do one of these looping numbers and get us, and it'll reconnect back here. You'll see it on both sides. I was seeing some stuff back here. It would hit, and then it would kind of like swing all the way around and was like connecting back in the front. It was really odd looking. I'm not really sure what was causing it, but it was kind of strange. If anybody has a better understanding of this model than me, please let me know. I want to know what caused that, just so I know. I don't think it was anything crazy, so don't think that. What I'm saying is that I just want to have a better understanding on what that was. Okay? So, again, with that being said, now, oops, I forgot the... Did I forget the... I sure did. There's spaceweather.com, Dr. Tony Phillips' website. It's right there in the chat now. Matter of fact, I'm going to highlight that sucker. There you go. All right, so that is velocity right here. This is density, and this is magnetic pressure. Nothing going on right now, so I'm not going to waste your time. Okay? Seriously, there's nothing going on right now as far as at our planet. Now, back to this. I want to talk about this for a minute. This orange aurora is becoming a big subject, and a lot of people are talking about it, and rightfully so, because orange aurora is not something that you would typically think you were going to see. Does it make it such a crazy grand thing that, oh my God, you know, run for the hills? No. Please don't think that. It's just another thing that we're looking at to try to have a better understanding of what space weather's doing when it hits. Because this is a result of space weather hitting. Okay? Now, I've tried to explain it to you guys using my printing background. I understand inks and pressures and colors and how they mix and how you can make certain colors, this, that, and the third. I'm going to go the simple route. Okay? Because I think it's better to do that so everybody has an easier understanding, at least a basic knowledge of why we're seeing this. Okay, what's making it orange? Okay, what you're seeing here, guys, is not a molecule producing orange emissions. Okay? Your eyes are being fooled just like they are when you look at a tub at the grocery store of what actual color is there. So what I'm saying is, I'm going to take you here. You get layers of aurora depending on where you're at in the atmosphere. Why is that? And I'm not an aurora, I don't even know what you want to call it. I'm not somebody that's a professional aurora person that would be able to go out here and tell you exactly what's going on, right? I understand it enough to be able, and I feel okay talking to you like this about this. Because I do understand colors and layers. I really do. At a higher level than probably most because of my job that I did for 20 years. But this is not a plastic bowl that I'm putting print on. This is light. Okay, so things are a little different. The substrate matters. What's the substrate? That's the thing. That's basically the background. Okay, a substrate when you're talking about printing is the actual plastic bowl itself. So when you see that, whatever, say you see the French onion on the French onion Dean's dip, right? What you're seeing is the light passing through every bit of that ink, bouncing off of that substrate, and then you're seeing reflective light come back to your eye. That's what your brain is seeing. Okay? So I'm not going to get into detail on why that is and all that, but that is exactly what happens when you look at a product at the store. Okay? Anything like that. It bounces off the substrate, and that light passing back through that ink is what your eyes see. So just so you know that. Now, here, we don't have a plastic bowl. We got our atmosphere, which is changing constantly. The conditions in our atmosphere changes constantly, but we do have layers. And certain molecules live in certain layers, and this is what this is showing you. Okay, so what we're looking here, we're looking kind of, you can picture yourself back. This picture came from NASA. And so when you're back here, when you're way back looking at the horizon from space, right? You're seeing all these different aurora on the horizon. Okay? Now, with that being said, I had another, I thought I had another pic here ready to show you. I know I did. Maybe I didn't. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. Okay, what I want to show you is this, because this is going to show you kind of what I'm talking about. I'm trying to find the right one here. I had it staged, and I don't know why it's not there. I think this is the one. Now, this came from Lord Kissfreak. He's a Canuck. He's a really good dude, and he took some aurora photography and sent it to me. I showed you guys all these pics before. So if you're standing on the ground and you look up, this is what it looks like to you. Okay? Notice how you're not going to see layers. So that's important to understand. You're not going to see a layer on the ground from standing on the ground. The only way you're going to see a layer is if you go up here. Why do I say that? Let's go back here. What we're looking at here is the same thing. Look, this is being taken from the ground. Also, we were getting hit with the G-force storm, so it pushes those layers closer together. So we don't have space weather interacting with a molecule and making that molecule produce orange. Right? What we're seeing is basically green and red from oxygen and nitrogen molecules living in the same layer for a short amount of time. And to our eyeballs, it looks orange. There most likely are not any molecules in here that are putting off an orange aurora. You're seeing that mix. Okay? That's why I brought in the printing conversation, because that's how you make all the colors. You got to mix them together. You can have them separate, but you can have one dot bigger than the other. So that color will come through more intensely, and you can adjust colors that way when you're doing printing. It's kind of similar to this. So when we get hit, it smashes everything together. We start seeing these orange auroras. Now I'm only bringing this back up because we didn't just get it from one part of the world. This was planet wide, and I wasn't aware of that until today. Okay, I thought we just seen it in a couple different areas. It was on that latitude all the way around the whole globe. Okay, so we started getting reports, and this one here, guys, is in Minnesota. This is over here in the States. This one here was, where was this one from? I think this one was from Pennsylvania. Okay, so I'm explaining this to you guys so you guys get an understanding of that, because I want you guys to understand how space weather is affecting this and why we should even be looking at it. Not only is this a very cool thing, this can help us understand the overall picture better. So when we see these kinds of things that we really shouldn't be seeing, okay, and keep in mind, guys, when the molecule that it takes, I'm not sure exactly which one it is, to produce, like if it was to get hit with highly charged particles and put off an orange glow itself, the other colors that it would be putting off would overpower the orange that it's putting off. That's why it's better to have a better understanding of what I'm talking about here. Because this is an Aurora physicist right here telling you that, you know, I guess it's an unproven theory if you want to go that route with it. I don't know. But again, there is no like hard facts here. It's just, it is a phenomenon that it's fairly new that we're looking into. But I do have a complete, like, I can see how this theory would be right. So I'm not saying it's 100% everything there, but everything I just explained to you, if you understand that it starts in layers. This is how Aurora looks. You take this red right here and you mash it down. Number one, it becomes more dense, right? So it becomes more intense. Then it gets pushed to the mash down of the green. And then right here in this little area, they're mixing together. That's when you see the orange. And given those conditions, that's how that happens. That is the theory, right? So I'm not going to sit here and like say, oh, it's 100%. No, I can't do that. That would be irresponsible of me to do that. There needs to be a lot of people out here studying this, and there probably is now, because this is something that needs to be studied so we understand it better. So I hope that gave you guys at least a little bit better of an understanding of what I'm talking about here, because you can't just say, hey, we shouldn't see orange aurora. Well, guys, guess what? Technically, we're not. That's what I'm trying to say here. There's not orange aurora molecules here. These are, see, look where the orange shows up. You see this? Where's it showing up at? Where the green and the red are closer together. They're mixing right here. So you're seeing, your eyes see it as orange. That's what's happening. At least that's the theory. So, and again, guys, you guys know I don't go 100% on that kind of thing, because I simply just can't say that. I mean, I could be wrong. There's definitely could be wrong. I've been wrong before. So, but if you remember that you're standing on the ground looking up and not looking from the side, from space, it gives you guys a different understanding, right? And it gives us a better understanding. This is Lord Kiss Freak's picture from standing on the ground of just green, right? So hopefully I explained that good enough, guys. If I didn't, I apologize, but I gave it the old college try. Ain't that what they say? But I want you guys to have an understanding of that, because this is getting talked about a lot. And I want you to understand what they're actually talking about. It ain't that what I'm saying is 100% correct on what I think is actually causing it. It's the fact that you understand what they're talking about, so you can make that decision for yourself, what you think is happening. So please go do that. But yeah, so I need some feedback in there. Number one, give me a roll call down in there in that chat, and give me some feedback on how you guys think I did it, trying to explain that. Did I confuse you more? Did I mean, if I did, I apologize, but let me know. I want to know because, yeah, this has been being talked about a lot, and that's why I'm trying to give a different, or at least addressing it, if that makes any sense. Hey, John Star, good to see you. Jobs, houses, cars, bling bling. Oh, what? Dude, bye. Hope we don't have any. Hannibal, Missouri. Thank you, Annie. I appreciate that. Thank you, Shells Fells. I do. I get kind of excited, so I don't, when I do this kind of thing, it's because it is a contested thing, and it's not that I'm trying to change anybody's mind, because I'm not. I just want everybody to have all sides of it so they can make their own decisions. And I do have a very good understanding of how light and how printing colors themselves and stuff like that work, but I also understand that I'm not looking at a printed bowl, right? We have to understand our environment when we're looking at these things, and things can be different than, just because it works for light on this in this environment doesn't mean it's going to work over here. And that's kind of what I was trying to say. Thank you, Dolores. Appreciate you. Northwest Ohio. Jammer, is he getting ready to go live? I'm getting ready to end anyway, guys, so I just want to let you know. But thank you, AA Ron, for the 5 gifted memberships, and thank you, Callie, for the $20 super sticker. I appreciate you guys. So I just want to say I really do appreciate it, and thank you for putting up with me here on this one. I know that sometimes that can get a little confusing, and I don't want to confuse people. If I did, please tell me where and what I did, and so I can get better. So, what a great comment, Hickey. What a great comment. Could you imagine seeing this as a caveman? Wow. Such an awesome comment. Man. There you go, Kathleen. I like that one too. Never question God's magical palette. That is so cool. You guys are just awesome. Back to you, Linda. Really do. Appreciate you. Yeah. Well, thank you, Alan G. I do appreciate it. Guys, I will be doing a members only stream probably tomorrow or the next day. So please, if you're a member, please turn your notifications on so you get that notification. And anybody else that's not a member, please consider. We do have a lot of fun. We watch Zoom court hearings, believe it or not. And we do a lot of other things. We make emojis that only members can use and stuff like that. We just have a lot. It's a kickback thing. Hey, Miss V. And we just have fun. So I just wanted to point that out. So anyway, guys, I'm going to be heading over to Mars. Y'all need to head over there too. Jammer, you're awesome, brother. Always on it. Ilea, awesome. You guys are just, the best mods around. I'm telling you. I'm honored to actually mod with you over there on Marfugo anyway. And then for you guys to come here and do it here for me is, And every other mod. Pam B, my neighbor. Don't fall into the sunspot. Good one. Love it. Shell spells. But yeah, guys, so I am going to head over to Marfugo. I don't want to be live when they go live. I try not to be. I try to get on before they go. You guys know that. There's some good friends of mine, and I really want people, if that ever happens, we are live at the same time, watch them and come watch me on replay. Now, I know that that's a shot in the foot to any other YouTuber. Not me. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to support everybody else, and they support me. So it all works in a big symbiont circle. Hey, Axe, good to see you. That's right, baby. We're heading over there. Hey, get over and see. Hey, I seen your comment, Piper Lynn. I'm sorry you're going through that. That really sucks. I really do. We need some prayers for Piper Lynn here. Okay? Let's get some ones in the chat before everybody leaves for Piper. I meant to mention that earlier, but I kind of saved it for the end because of all the other stuff. Hey, Tiger's Eye. Chris, yes, Chris. Hey, hey. All right, guys. I am going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. So I'm going to head over to Mars. God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.